Did you say Nikon ZC Mark III? You're in the right place. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from Italia, and today I wanted to talk to you about the Nikon Z6 Mark III, which I've been waiting for you, scouting the rumors and stuff, and then they finally announced it, and it's now available for purchase, and someone already received it either with a combo with some glasses, body only, whatever they purchased. They are starting shipment right away, so that they told already that if you want it and you didn't pre-order, now you will have to wait for a while. Now with the Z8 it was a matter of months, here might be a matter of weeks, and I was in agreement with the local shop to have it and take it for a spin, and this is why I visited Sirmione for you, and then right after Sirmione I visited Garda Land, which is an amusement park on Lake Garda. And why did I pick up that location? Because I wanted to test the dynamic range for the landscape photography. I wanted to test the low light situation, some portraits, so on and so forth. And so I really wanted to put it out to test because I saw the dynamic range from other YouTubers had been tested and it was not so satisfying. I wanted to test the ISO performance in low light situations, and then I wanted to finally test this partially stacked sensor, which is unique in its genre. And now Nikon, they were able to put this partially stacked sensor in a camera. So we have the in-between, the Nikon ZF, which is non-stacked, and the Nikon Z8, which is completely stacked. And so we have in-between jello effects, if you want, if you talk about electronic shutter and maybe some wobbling, warping while you're recording. But in the very end, this Nikon Z6 seems to perform quite well. So if you are not in for the full expense for the Nikon Z8, which might be expensive, I do understand maybe what happened with the light. Okay, switch off the light. Let me be back soon. Alright, I had a LED light pointed at my face and it finally went out of battery, so now I keep going with that. So I was saying, this Nikon Z6 Mark III, it's the perfect body combination. It's still a bit small for my big hands, and so I would go rather for the Nikon ZF, which is still a bit less expensive, despite this ZF doesn't convince me for the video, because I saw Casey from Camera Conspiracies, he did the comparison with the Sony A7S Mark III that he has, and this Nikon ZF makes his skin way more red than normal, and so it's not a, I don't know what's the trouble in there. And ideally the Nikon Z6 will have the same thing, but I don't have it in my hand because the local shop, it was supposed to hand me the camera for a day, didn't receive it yet from Nikon, and so we postponed this test. And so in the very end I was just going around the Sirmione and Garda Land and I didn't have the camera with me, and it was such a shame, despite we know more or less anything that we have to know about this camera. We know that it is going to be great for autofocusing, tracking. It is very responsive because the XC7, it's performing very well on the Z9, on the Z8, on the ZF, and of course also on the Z6 Mark III. And then we know that this partially stacked sensor is very fast, so that's what they were anticipating with the trailer, saying this is going to be a very fast camera. Indeed, you can have 4K recording, 60p, 6K recording, you can have HD 240, and all of them with autofocusing, because there are cameras out there that when you are changing to slow-mo, they can perform with slow-mo, but you miss the phase detect and they go back to contrast. I don't want to name those cameras, but you know that it might be a chance. And then you don't have that much of a crop, like on the Panasonic you have an impressive crop in the moment you start recording 4K, and 4K 60 is even worse. And so this camera might be outperform many other cameras on the market, especially if you think that it's in the ballpark of $2.5K. And so $2.5K will give you all the capabilities that this beautiful hybrid camera has, still on 24 megapixels, so you don't have an exaggerated amount of files to manage. And then you have Nikon color science, which might be not completely right at this very moment, especially the end log is not so easy to manage compared to other log profiles, and then you might cook your own lot thanks to the Nikon app, but this is a different thing. So workflow is not impacted. The end result is not impacted. Phase detect, both for video and for still, is not impacted. You have an impressive burst rate, and then you have all the good support the Nikon is providing. It looks like they really changed gear recently. As of the release of the Z9, it looks like Nikon is back on track. It used to be Nikon or Canon, the choice. So now you still have Pentax, Fuji, Sony, Panasonic. We are back in track where Nikon might make the difference. It's not overperforming any of the other cameras from the competitors, but at least it's aligned with it and just a bit more, because they're giving you internal raw recording for video, which no one else does, at least at the moment. And then, you know, it's super reliable for stills, it's super reliable for wildlife. You have the pre-release up to 1 second. You have many gimmicks and many things that might help you in your workflow, given that the Z-mount glasses are always top-notch quality. It might be comparable to Sony G Master, to Zeiss glasses, despite I keep preferring Leica and Zeiss for the 3D pop, but this is a different chapter. We're going to discuss that. So stay tuned, because I'm going to have the camera in my hands fairly soon. And up to that moment, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any videos to come. And I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.